Okay, class. Just want to give you a quick kind of idea of how this activity is supposed to work once you get your animals and stuff done. What we're trying to do is organize our different types of animals into what is similar and what things are alike and what things are way different. I put down the the 3 things that we've dissected plus humans, since we talked about the human body system. Then I just added a couple on here: goldfish and snapping turtle. So what I want you to think about is, I would start with human. Okay, so I would start, and I'm going to put human over here, and then I'm going to think, out of all of these things on here, which things do I think are closest to the human? Like, which things are most alike to the human? And I'm thinking, I'm going to put the frog over there, because I know that the frog had a lot of the same internal organs, and it had a skeleton, but it did have some differences too, right? Like, they lived a lot of their lives in waters, and they could breathe through their skin. So it's not like a human, but it's maybe more like a human than at least these 3, I think. But maybe snapping turtle's over there too. We haven't dissected a snapping turtle, but just thinking about it, I'm thinking snapping turtle has, it has 4 legs, 4 limbs anyway, and it's got a head. So I think that's kind of like a human. It's got a skeleton. I know that about it. So I'm going to think maybe like snapping turtle is maybe like as close related to a human as a frog. Like maybe about as close. Then I got to think, okay, what comes next? We haven't looked at the goldfish, but I know that goldfish have skeletons, and I know that they've got hearts. They don't have lungs because they breathe through gills, but considering that neither earthworms or starfish have skeletons, I'm thinking probably next in line would be the goldfish. So I'm going to put that over there like that. Now after that, this next one's a toughie. So we just dissected starfish, and I didn't see very much in there that was like humans. I mean, they have mouths, they have stomachs. They don't have hearts or blood. So I'm thinking, just thinking back to the earthworm stuff, that the earthworms, they had blood, they had kind of a heart, they had a stomach, they had an esophagus, they had a mouth and an anus. So I'm thinking, like, even though they're not, like, super closely related to these things over there, I think that's what would come next in line. And really, I think the starfish is kind of back here, personally. Okay? Because the starfish was just so different, not having blood in it and being radially symmetrical instead of bilaterally symmetrical. So anyway, there's no right or wrong to this, really, but if you look at this now, we've got kind of a chain here going of how alike and how different just the few things my few animals would be. So what you want to do is you want to do this individually with some post-it notes. Take some post-it notes and write your animals' names on them. Do this for yourself. Then do this as a group. And then we're going to do it as a class. And we might even do it with all 4 classes, all 4 science classes. And we might try to build, ideally what we're thinking about is building a tree, okay? Building a tree where maybe the humans are up on the top, and then we have branches down below that go to these different types of animals, okay? And we're going to build, so basically the further away, the less like humans you are, the further away from humans you are going to be on the tree. Okay? And these branches, like maybe snapping, like a frog. I know a frog is an amphibian. Maybe we'll have more amphibians around frogs. Maybe we'll have more fish around goldfish. Maybe we'll have other types of worms around worms. Okay? So you're grouping animals that are alike, and then you're thinking how closely related they are to humans, or if they're not very closely related at all. So I hope that kind of makes sense of how you're going to do this. and I will be interested to see what your trees look like when I come back. Just make sure that you document